Welcome to beautiful downtown Sun City, Arizona, home of a lawn full of geese, bunnies, pigeons, and lots of other wildlife. I wanted to let people know that Enrique is here visiting from Bogota, Colombia, and had a profound experience several days ago and decided to change careers and get into the spiritual teaching business full-time as opposed to doing it part-time in our tradition. So we now have an outpost in South America, the drug capital of the world, Bogota, Colombia. Then we have Rajiv in India, Dia in Scotland. Pretty soon we'll take over the whole world. Anyway, we begin. Do you know why you came to Satsang today? What was it that made you come to Satsang today? Was it a memory? Was it a feeling? Was it a feeling like I want to see Ed? I want to hear delightful chanting? Was it curiosity? Are you aware of the forces that drive you from situation to situation? If you're not, and if you can't articulate them, you're really at the effect of unconscious causes, tossed around without having a clue as to why you're doing what you're doing and when you're doing it. So instead of being clueless, be clueful, full of clues. Watch your heart, watch your mind, every moment. Be aware of where you're going and why you're going there. Now, I can understand you go to bed at night out of habit, and after you go to bed you get sleepy or a little beforehand. That's a habit. That's why you go to bed. You're either tired or it's a habit. Go to bed at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whenever you go to bed. Same thing with eating. You feel hungry, automatically you eat. You don't think about it. But I'm asking you to watch it. Especially, why did you come here? Is it curiosity? You love Robert, want to know more about Robert? Do you love Nisargadatta? Do you love the Advaita path? But this isn't strictly Advaita at all. This is devotional Advaita, with the emphasis on devotion. As a matter of fact, not only why did you come here, but why are you in spirituality at all? Why aren't you guys repairing cars on a Sunday morning? Or going to a park and enjoying the squirrels? Or go to the zoo and look at the gorillas? Why spirituality? What is it for you that's you're looking for in spirituality? Is it looking for escape from life and death, to be able to transcend life and death and not be afraid of anything? Is it to know who you are yourself, to be self-realized, whatever that means for you? What does self-realization mean? What does enlightenment mean? What do transformative experiences mean? Is that what you want, transformative experiences? To be transformed from what into what? What are you lacking now that you think that a singular experience is going to solve, make well, join together? I hear somebody walking on the roof of my house. I don't know how they got up there. Probably a roof person at the... I can't check now, but that's strange to hear somebody walking on the roof of your house. Be mindful. Understand why you're in spirituality. Is there something in you that's hurt? Is there something in you that's lonely? Is there something in you that needs to be solved, a puzzle? Something you're trying to figure out? Or are you possessed by Robert Adams or Nisargadatta? There are so many different kinds of spiritualities. I mention it to you all the time. So many different ends, from Kashmir Shaivism and Tantra, and Buddhism and Tantric Buddhism to Zen. Each has a different effect on the individual that carries it out. If you become a monk in Zen, you become a very strange person, let me tell you. If you become a monk in Advaita, you're even stranger. You become a Swami in Kashmir Shaivism, and you're far more normal, except you're wearing orange robes. But you as an individual, what is it that you want? What is it you're looking for? Now, all of these spiritual traditions have different ends. In Zen and Buddhism in general, it's the understanding or recognition of emptiness, the void, and how phenomena and the void are interrelated. The void is the container, and all experiences come out of the container. There's no witness consciousness in Zen or in Buddhism. There is no witness, there is no self. They're very different things, very different experiences, very different outcomes, very different enlightenments, and some have self-realization, some don't. Some self-realization is not part of Buddhism, for example. There's no self there. But I'll tell you, there's one thing that is universal, whether you're a monk in Zen, whether you're a Swami in Kashmir Shaivism, whether you're a Swami in an Advaita tradition like Nisargadatta, whether you're a Sufi, whether you're a Christian, I can't think of any, a Mohammedan, a Muslim, is a search to be loved and a search for connection to other people. To be connected, not in a shallow way, but in a deep way, in a life-changing way. So, when in doubt, resort to loving, to seeking love, to developing love. And you can practice loving just like you can practice anything, concentration, meditation. Love a cat. I love cats. That's the easy one. Have a cat, have a dog. Love that dog to death. Love that cat to death. Worship that cat. When you're feeding the cat, feel like it's a devotion to your Krishna, your Kali. Bow down to the cat. Feel the cat. Let the cat lick your hand. Become devotional towards all objects and all things. Instead of moving at a great rate of speed and being very methodical and perfectionistic, instead love. Instead going about the day worshiping, doing rituals of worship and surrender. Everyone I know in spiritual traditions seeks love, seeks connection, or else they're in spirituality precisely to avoid love and avoid connection. We got a little bit of a nuisance up there. They're pounding nails into the roof while I'm trying to do satsang. It's a distraction. Michael, can you go out there and find out what's going on and tell them we have a meeting in progress?
Hey, can you guys come back now? Can you come back now, please? Okay.
Okay. Michael talked to him to come back in an hour. Every monk I know is in relationship, except the ones that are hiding it because of their tradition doesn't allow them to be in sexual relationships. Every teacher I know has sex. Every deep searcher still has that almost desperately need to be loved and to love. And those are two different things. Some people find it much more easy to love, and some find it easier to be loved. But when the two come together, a deep loving and a deep acceptance of that love and a mutuality both ways, such explosive ecstasy can come out of that as to shatter all of your preconceptions, all of your ideas, and such energies arise in you that they sweep away all of your preconceptions and all of your wrong ideas about yourself. Loving another human being and being loved by another person, another human being, and loving another human being can result in such tremendous love, such tremendous Shakti that God is revealed through the process. You see God in the other person. You worship God in the other person. You fall to their feet and touch their toes. And then you just want to sleep there by their feet, worshiping their feet, worshiping them as a surrendered person, as a surrendered lover, a surrendered human, loving your beloved and being loved by your beloved. We all want that. Everybody's looking for that. Some are looking in vast different ways. Some are going about it in ways they'll never find it because they follow traditional ways, whatever they are. But it's a spiritual process, and there is no rules. There are no rules in it except total abandonment of yourself and your own desires and needs. To just worship without condition. Worship and surrender without condition. Total love. Not worried about whether it comes back or not, just feeling lucky you have the object there, that person, to love. Or that cat. And doing that pleases God, you might say, so to speak. And God can reveal himself or herself to you in whatever form you want. I remember when the divine was first revealed to me, I had an image of a ghost-like huge God, the God of Jehovah. And I just fell to his feet, and the woman I was with fell to her knees too. Fell to my knees, I should say. And we both had the same identical image of wanting God to just step on us, that we were nothing to God, and just to be there to be a support for his feet. And such grace was felt, washing away our sins, our impurities, all of our memories of being stupid. And the energies coursed through our bodies, both of us, simultaneously, the same energies. We could see those energies inside of ourselves and as well as feel them. We loved each other with total passion, total love, 2,000 miles apart. It's not necessary to be in the same room, although it's much more exciting. 2,000 miles apart, having the same experience of surrendering to God. And then being with her, to fall to her feet, my knees, then fall to the ground, worship her. It was ecstasy. It was like a year later when I had my realization, self-realization experience, maybe about 2010, where God arose in me as infinite power, infinite light, infinite bliss, somewhere in the area of the gut, flowing upwards in unbelievable light, unbelievable power through my mouth and into my brain and out above and spreading all around. And that was God. It was the divine, because there was so much power there, it couldn't possibly be me. It had 1,000 times more power than I had. And since then, I've rested with God beside me. Sometimes I become Him, sometimes I still see Him as an other. Sometimes I don't see Him for long periods of time, but I know He's there, or she's there, but it's Him for me. A big brother-like figure. And then the breaking occurs. The problems in the relationship. The breaking of the relationship. And the feeling of utter despair. Utter crushing despair and loss. Losing God, losing the other, losing everything. Becoming hopelessly broken. And with that brokenness comes a process of withdrawing the energy from your beloved back into yourself. Vincent, can you turn your microphone off? Oh, I got it. It's withdrawing your energy from that person. Withdrawing your love from that person. And feeling it into yourself, in yourself. And you become love itself. You become love itself. You have taken all of those energies, projected and given to the other person, into that image you have of that other person. And when the rupture occurs, the energies come back into you. And you're full of the energies, you're full of the divine. And such it is, can happen over and over and over and over and over again. Each time you learn a little more. Each time you experience something a little differently. Each time you own more and more of your lost self and of your own love. But this is something that everybody wants, no matter what the tradition is, even if they don't think they want it. If it's given to them, they're satisfied, whether it's Zen, Buddhism in general, Advaita. Robert was always looking for love from a woman. He was trying to rejoin the human race and express love to them, to help them out as much as to help him. To have them know that the Guru loves them. And they love the Guru. It was a shared experience. And in effect, the Guru can stand in as that perfect lover that you're going to have someday. That you want someday to be all your own. There are some teachers that are surrounded by, you might say, a harem of female devotees. It's not a sexual relationship, but an energetic relationship. And they may get 5 or 10 minutes of time from the teacher every day, but it fills them up. They grow. They learn to find boundaries, limitations. Hear that, Max? Boundaries. Boundaries. Limitations on expression and giving and appropriateness of situations. Of learning not to just leap constantly into it, but to know that you're only going to have 5 minutes or 10 minutes with that person, the guru. And then he's off again, and you have to be satisfied with that. Such a life, I could never, ever, ever do that kind of stuff. It's just too intense, too heartrending to be doling out little bits of love in little packages like that. But those are different teachers than I am. I want to welcome everybody to know Enrique firsthand. Enrique, say something. That's his own patented method. Eye contact. Good luck to you, Enrique, in Bogota. May you prosper there. Have many students. Bring them to Robert, bring them to Nisargadatta, bring them to whoever you want to bring them to. I trust you. You will do well. Does anybody have any questions? Oh. Let me see. There's a long question here. Can you read that to me, Michael? The question, it's too many words. Enrique, can you read it? Anybody there?
There's no chat, there's no message here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
I will try it.
It's a long thing about some Sufi concept, dark energies, etc., etc. I can't really read it; it's too long. I don't have my reading glasses on.
Whoever sent it could, if you could copy paste it to the public chat, you can read it.
Any other questions? Angela, do you have a question? Do you have an opinion? Do you have an offering of any sort? You're going to stay in the background and stay quiet and keep out of trouble.
Well, I could offer myself for you to practice loving me.
Absolutely. You've got that. Everybody else can join in too. She looks very lovable. Anybody else with a question?
We have the question here from Mohammed. Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. In contemporary Iran, we had a Jani, we called Sufi, named Ansari Hanamadari, that his left chest near heart became dark and almost burned because of energy of God's love. And also there's another Jani named Hadad, who had his level of burning energy of love toward God. Even in the coldest winter, he drank ice water and wear just a thin clothes because of his heat of this energy. According to reports, everybody around them felt this burning love energy. I'm wondering, are all Janis in the world have this type of love energy? Thank you, and God bless you.
No.
Excuse me, my English is not very well.
No. It's kind of a rare thing. It's and it's not really yanis. We're talking about here bhakta. Yanis can and usually do have developed bhakta, also love. But yani is one of knowledge, like Nisargadatta, who never talks about love. But the burning energy of love, that's a phase most of us go through in the spiritual endeavors, our spiritual endeavors, if we're going to make any progress, and if we concentrate hard on seeing the energies inside of ourselves and feeling the energies inside of ourselves, and devotion towards whomever, whether it's God, Jesus, Guru, somebody else in your life, then you'll develop them, then you'll feel them. And it can be expressed and felt in 100 different ways. Rising energies, descending energies, ecstasies, your whole body quivering and shaking with the intensity of the electricity moving through your heart and through your guts and through the various chakras of your body. And there's more than 7 chakras. There are dozens of energy centers, and they can all be activated, and it can be quite painful, and it can be quite distracting, very distracting. I had one student, Leela, that began feeling these energies probably in 2010, and to this day she still feels them, and they're extraordinary, and they're taking her away. She has no control over them. It's definitely something you want to experience unless you want to experience it. But some do experience. It depends on your sensitivity, your openness to love, your openness to the bliss. Because bliss and love are different. With love there can be bliss, and with bliss it can be without love. It can just be bliss and having no love. Bliss is the energies within the body. Actually, here, let's put it this in context. There are certain things you have to experience before you can really say you understand any spirituality. One is the sense or experience of emptiness inside of yourself, an all-pervading emptiness. When you close your eyes, you look inside, whether it's dark or light, it's all empty. It feels that it's empty. Then you feel that emptiness too. That emptiness pervades all emotions, and it pervades your body, so that it's like a holograph in a sense. It cuts through being too attached to your body, because you feel the emptiness as strongly as you feel the body. Then there is developing the light of consciousness, which is using light to investigate that emptiness inside and find out what's there, like emotions or visions and things like that. You need both of those things. Then, within that context, you concentrate on your sense of I am, which at first may be a point in your chest. And you feel it as a piece of electricity or as a warmth. And you concentrate on it day after day, week after week, month after month. And gradually that begins to be energies pervading throughout your whole body. It spreads. You'll feel them from your feet up, your knees, your genitals, your buttocks, your stomach, your chest, your head. These energies will come through you, bliss energies and just shaking energies, and it's a purification process. You could go through it for a year or 6 years or 10 years. Some people have it all their lives. And then they'll go from being the bliss to feeling love. And out of the love you'll feel, when you feel love strongly enough, you'll become love. Even before you find your beloved. If you love your cat strongly enough, totally enough, so that you feel the love inside of yourself directed towards that cat or that person. And then you realize you're feeling the love here, inside your sense of presence. Oh, that was the other thing. You're feeling that love inside your sense of presence, inside of that emptiness inside of you, inside of that lighted emptiness within you is that love. And you identify with that. You say, my God, that's my love. It's not hers. It's not his. I gave it to them. It's my love. And you see that it's your love, and it's your love, and you become that love. You identify with that love. Soon thereafter, you can have a self-realization experience, the experience of the explosion of the divine within you. It's all stagey kind of thing. But anyway, the third thing you have to know is that sense of presence. It's like having a new body inside of your body. It's a sense of an energetic being inside of you. It's alive. It has energy. It's the life force. It's the life force filling out your nervous system and different kinds of nervous system that aren't of the physical realm. And this sense of presence you identify as you, and it's more real than the body. And when you can feel that sense of presence, like the aura, it'll extend beyond your body a few inches, maybe a few feet. When you can feel that sense of presence within you and around you, everywhere, in touch with the external environment and in touch with the divine within, you'll make rapid progress from then on. You'll begin to see that all of consciousness is your consciousness. All kinds of discoveries you'll make. You'll have one self-realization experience after another, and even go beyond self-realization. You'll go beyond Nisargadatta's absolute even. Because even after you obtain the absolute, which is the knowledge of the witness, that you are witnessing, you are the experiencer of the body, of the sense of presence, of the love, of the creation of the world, the external world, the whole universe, consciousness itself. And as such, you're beyond it. But even being beyond it, you can still come back to being an ordinary person, an ordinary Angela, an ordinary Spencer, an ordinary Ed, an ordinary Enrique, and a very, very ordinary Max. And come back and love with all of your heart another person or a cat. And by doing that, you become embodied once again. You become God incarnate. Before that, you've become one with the divine, sort of in a energetic sort of way. But when you can love another and worship another and give that love to another and receive it from another, you become incarnate. Spirit becomes incarnated and embedded in flesh and the limitations of flesh. You become awash with love. But at the same time, you're awash with your own physicality, your physical needs for love, physical love, to hold that person, to have sex with that person. Well, don't have sex with your cat. We'll leave that out of the way. But to hold your cat, to love your cat, to pet your cat, let your cat pet you. When you have a cat like that you care for that much, and she licks your hand, it's like an orgasm in your hand. The pleasure is so incredible, and it's very similar to having an orgasm. And when you're with your beloved, just touching her or him is an orgasm. With complete surrender, every particle in your body is aflame with love and surrender. Then you're flaming love. There's no other experience that can touch that, not even recognizing you're the absolute watching this experience. This is, Ramakrishna was a very, very, very powerful saint in the last century in India, who studied all of the systems, Advaita, Shaivism, Tantra, etc. But his way he got to God first, that he woke up, was by worshiping Kali. Goddess Kali. The blue Kali. The mad Kali. The desirable Kali. The Kali, the destroyer of illusions. Kali, the destroyer of Shiva. And then when he was learning all of these other kinds of things, like getting into the absolute that Advaita talks about, he studied the absolute. He got to know it thoroughly. But he left it. He says, I don't care for the absolute. I want to be a person worshiping Kali, my divine, my goddess. And so he went back to worshiping Kali. Devotion, that's what he wanted, was devotion and surrender. To be a person, remain as a person, and to be devoted to Kali, the goddess. And in that perfect love, that perfect surrender, that you become nothingness, and that nothingness is ecstatic. And then after the ecstasy wears away, it just becomes divine peacefulness. Slowly all of the ecstasies disappear. And you become more ordinary, but very, very peaceful and silent. It's the silence that Robert talks about. But there's a lot of storms and a lot of energies and a lot of explosions, a lot of breakups, a lot of rejoinings that happens before you get to the state of falling into yourself and resting in yourself. Now any questions? Mark, any questions?
Sure. Again, not so much questions as just expressing my thanks to you and expressing where I'm at. So I finished the Robert Adams collected works, and I read it daily for a period of months. And it really helped to drive the point home about the futility of the ego striving and the benefit of entering into the I am. And from your description, I would say almost everything you've talked about, I feel like I've attained, or I've somewhat attained right now, especially the presence. So I feel like my presence is even just as real or even more real than my physical body. It interpenetrates my body, it extends past my body. And there's a stillness, like Robert talks about, and a calmness and an energetic stillness, I would say, and a fullness that is, as I enter into it, it just extends like finer and finer particles until and so spacious and so much at home. So that's where I'm at. I really feel like I've come a long way. And the explosions and the disconnections and all that, I feel a lot of that I've already gone through years ago. So right now I feel like I'm at a really good place. And I want to thank you for all your work and efforts and writings that I've been also reading.
Sure. The invoice will be in the mail. Thank you. Thank you for that. There's 2 more questions. Can Enrique, can you read those?
From Vijay. After the person, ego I, is gone, who takes the decision to go beyond into absolute or not?
Who knows? Who knows? Because for one thing, you're already assuming that the person and the ego are identical, and that they go away in enlightenment, and that what then happens, what power then makes the decisions. Well, already you're assuming too much. You're assuming that there's an ego, you're assuming that there's a person, that this is an entity, and you're assuming it goes away at some point in the spiritual tradition, but it doesn't have to. You could be totally wrong. These are ideas, and one of the things is, if you feel that emptiness strongly enough, or if you feel that divine love strong enough, all of these ideas are shattered in your head, and they never come to your head again. These are bullshit questions. They're not true. They have no no presence in the reality. They're only in a conceptual reality or in a spiritual seeker's mind that's done altogether too much reading and not enough practicing. There is no ego. There is no person. There is nothing to go away or to come into being. It's always just as it is. And you can't break it up into ego and divine or anything like that. I say it in order to paint a word picture, to get a mood across. But when you actually believe what these words say, you're in big trouble, because you're going to try to figure out. The key is to stop with the mind and drop into your heart. Move through the world navigating with your heart. And if you drop your attention, the center of attention, into your heart area, the mind is so easily ignored. It's just a chattering radio 3 rooms away. It has no power over you anymore. Any other questions? Anybody else with the question? So I enjoin you to realize in yourself, somewhere inside of you, one of the things you want more than anything else is to be loved and to have somebody to love. No matter what your spiritual inclinations are, no matter what your occupation, no matter what your inclinations are, no matter what your addictions are, no matter what your physical health is, we all want love. We all want to be loved and to love. If you can just hang on to that thing which is in all of us, you can never lose. There are so many spiritual things to seek, like the emptiness I talked about, the energies within, the sense of presence, the light of consciousness, the absolute, universal consciousness, consciousness itself, bhakti, whatever these things are. But to have and to hold somebody you love with all of your heart, that's what everybody wants. And in a sense, it transcends all spirituality. It transcends all other ambitions in life. Even Vincent. I see you, Vincent, hiding away. Well, I seem to have blown your circuits or something, because nobody's responding. Angela, what are you feeling right now? You seem to be so happy. Everybody else looks a little dead, but you look a little alive.
Because of you.
Thank you. Ditto. Right back at you. Right back at you. Thank you much. I feel it from you. Well, okay. Next time, same place, same time. I'll see you all. If you can think of a question, ask a question. If you bring a dog, that's even better. If you bring 2 cats, that trumps a dog. Bring a plant or a cactus if you don't have anything else to bring. Bring a lover. But bring yourself. This has been a powerful satsang and so few people came. Take care. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. Next week, same time. Bye.